over at meetings, and I'll be sending some emails to you folks so you can pass that out. We want to hear from you. I've gone to several MAC meetings from several areas. Some of them are calling me and some aren't. So I'm encouraging you folks to do that. You don't have to wait till the month to have a question for the CHP. You can go ahead and send us some information as soon as you like, and we'll address the problem as best we can. Yes?
How are you spelling Jeff?
Jeff. J. Perez at chp.ca.gov. Okay. But I thank you. This is my first time here, and I know you have a lot of issues here, but for the time being, again, if you want to give me a call at the office in CHP in Victorville. And as you can see, we've got this 138 project. There is a pamphlet there that talks about the safety project at the end of the table. Please take a look at it. It's going to be an inconvenience. We know that. I get bombarded with a lot of questions at the office about detours, routes, and so forth. We'll be glad to tell you about some of them, but the pamphlet will outline the safest routes to get around during this inconvenience. Anybody have any questions this time? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Mike?
Hi, my name is Michael Lorem. I'm your field representative from the County Supervisor Misfeld's office. I'm here to talk about a development that was turned into planning and to answer questions about it. What I have up here are two maps of the exact same parcel. The way the land is zoned right now, that is what you would be able to develop without having to do any changes. It's the 2.5 per the size of the parcel, so without any changes, that's what's available to them. With some proposed changes is the development here. I'm not sure if people are familiar with the development. First off, does everyone have a packet that needs one? We were passing them out. I know, but I want to make sure that, okay. This is the same developer, if you turn to the last page of your packet, that did the first development out here in which 30 acres were set aside for a park, either be for equestrian park, or be for a sports park. So this is the same gentleman, the same company that we're dealing with. What you have on your guys' left, you're going to end up with 78 lots on that property. On this one, you're ending up with 152. You have another 20 acres that's being set aside for a park. Therefore, the park on the back page of the packet could either be the equestrian or sports place. This one could be the opposite. That way, both entities could have their own park and it's not together. I'm not sure if many people are familiar when we discussed the very first park. The people that were in the room were enthused about the project, but more argued over what we were going to do with the park. Half the group said, well, we're okay as long as it's sports. The other half said, we're okay if it's equestrian. But they weren't like okay with it just being a park. Nobody was at that meeting. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Right. So with that, when that came back to the developer, that's when he came up with a second proposal to say, well, since both groups are wanting to do so much with the land, maybe here's something that they'll entertain. The reason that I'm bringing this before you so you guys can speak freely, I gain nothing by this. Nobody in here gains anything by this. So you're free to make whatever comments you want, and then we filter it out, and whatever it is that maybe shouldn't have been said, and we show it to them and tell them how you guys reacted to it. I do have representatives from the planning department here. I have a representative from County Public Works. So I'm sure you guys have some questions about roads, road fees, maybe the designs of the roads. Within this development, you have equestrian trails. Now, which is I want to say this is the first big map that you have. Unfortunately, on the map, there's some highlighted sections that show a bridle trail. And if you look throughout, hold on a second. When you look throughout, you're like, well, where are the rest of the trails? The actual roads throughout the development are 44 feet wide, where they're going to naturally have a trail on one side because of the size of the road. So therefore, it wasn't drawn in. I asked them to do it so it wouldn't confuse you guys or confuse me, and it didn't happen. So I apologize for that. But sir, you had a question? You had a question?
So who's paying for those?
He is.
From where to where? Is he paving?
Okay, the roads that would be paved,
Are only in the development, or are they paved?
the roads that are being paved, do you know which roads are being paved? Yeah, do you? Why not, hold on. Since I have someone from Public Works, in case I say something wrong, you know where it's from, whatever.
No, typically they pave all their internal roads, and then we generally have them paved to some kind of the nearest maintained road.
Silver Rock, correct? It's gonna be Silver Rock, would be the connecting road to Phelan Road.
So are there gonna be additional road fees for the people living in Silver Lake?
No. No, there's no additional fees for anyone. The only person that's paying fees would be this development. He has to pave Goss, Wintergreen, Locust, Silver Rock. Silver Rock would have to be paved all the way to Phelan, and he would pave the interior roads. On top of that, he would pay the road fee. So, does that answer? I'll get you, does that answer your
Yeah.
Okay, sir, I'll come back to you again, but sir in the back.
He's paving Goss to Oasis to them? And is that whether or not he does 2.5 acres, or whether he does 1 acre?
Goss.
He's paving Goss.
Top one.
To the north. Is he paving it to where?
Oasis,
No.
Goss to Oasis.
That's not in the proposal, but that's something that
Is
could.
it?
No, because the developer, whoever develops any piece of land, when they pave a road, they have to connect to a paved road. Obviously, the county can say we would prefer this road. It's his development. He can say I prefer to pave this road because it's shorter. They do try to take into consideration what's going to form the best access for everybody. But like tonight is something where if you said, has he considered it? I can write it down, take it back to him, and say, the people in the room want to know, have you considered Goss from this point to this point? Go ahead.
I've heard this pitched twice, and both times he mentioned he's gonna pay both Goss and Wintergreen or whatever out to, one to Silver Rock out to Phelan and Goss out to Oasis.
Okay,
Now
well,
he's only gonna
that was
pay
my
one.
understanding.
Okay,
also.
I'm not the developer, and I asked him not to come, like I said, so you guys could speak freely. I could take it, I may have gotten some misinformation. Sandra, do you know if that's, any of that? No. Okay. In exchange? Go ahead.
When you talk about a road fee,
Yeah, if there is a road that's in our transportation facilities plan, and they choose to pave one of these roads, a lot of times they'll get some fee reimbursement because they'll construct part of the road that's in the plan. So sometimes they consider that, so they may have been considering.
I may have bad information. I can go back to and say I presented that you were only doing Silver Rock, and the people in the audience said that this is the second time they've heard it, and you mentioned this road. I may have missed that in the meeting. I can find out for you though. I believe someone had quit, ma'am.
It was probably repeated, but so, because Locust, where he's gonna pave it that attaches to the development, doesn't actually exist. It doesn't go all the way through. So if he has to connect it to a paved road, he would
No.
have to pave it all the way through.
No, the road that connects to the paved road is Silver Rock.
Right, but I'm talking about the other way. Like if you take Locust at the bottom and
Right.
go away from Silver,
He doesn't have to
I don't
con-
do east, west, south all the time.
The one on the bottom going that
The
way.
one on the bottom going that way.
He doesn't have, this
He
road
doesn't
down here
have-
does not have, it doesn't have to connect to a paved road.
Locust doesn't.
Because it's connecting to Silver Rock, and Silver Rock is the road that connects to the paved
Because
road.
that's gonna come out Oasis too, is why I'm asking.
Sir,
how about Wintergreen, which is on the west of that?
Wintergreen right here?
Yeah. Wintergreen goes almost to 138, but not quite, but there's going to be a lot of traffic on Wintergreen, you can bet on that. Wintergreen
Well,
comes
I-
in 138 west of
Caltrans, that was actually
To get to that,
a
you gotta go
proposal,
Evergreen.
and they left, Caltrans wouldn't let them. They would not let him connect to 138. So it wasn't that he chose not to, Caltrans told him he couldn't.
Yeah, Evergreen connects to 138.
I know, but what I'm saying is that if he wanted to pave it, Caltrans will not let him. They will not allow him to connect to that road. Sir, I'll get to you.
So Wintergreen is out for paving.
Well, Wintergreen is paved from Locust to Goss. What you're asking is to connect it, and Caltrans will not let him do that. Sir?
If he's not allowed to connect it to a major artery, which is the 138, where are all these people going to end up? On surface streets in and out through town? Or, I mean,
Silver Rock.
well, right now, I live on the lower section of Silver Rock, and it doesn't exist into the